Because they're not the stores that I shop at, or at least they're not trying to sell lunch. Kevin, welcome in. First and foremost, obviously, these guys and the 17 voters.
Hey, everybody. Here we go. Fire away.
Is that kind of the new normal in college basketball now, instead of rebuilding the roster each spring?
I don't know if that many is normal. I think it's kind of what we expected, knowing what we had last year with last year's team. But I think we'll see it mellow out a little bit here now that we get rid of fifth years and the COVID guys. But yeah, it's not something I haven't done before. You know, as a junior college coach, that was pretty much the norm. But I do like this group, and I think our staff has worked really hard to find the right blend of portal guys with high school guys. Yeah, we've played a lot more just in terms of the chemistry on the court, you know, just actually playing, getting a feel for each other. We're mixing a lot of lineups up. We're never playing the same group every day together. I'm trying to learn that piece of it, who works well together, who doesn't. But that's all part of the process. But, you know, as a character side of things, I mean, they're all getting along. They're all cohesive, and I like that.
So many more nuts to crack, so to speak, things to figure out, connections to make with individual players about specific things, you know, whatever. Just compared with when you had a veteran team. You have to recalibrate your own intensity level. You got to sort of build up personality or something.
I don't change much when it comes to my path on the court. I think the one thing that, you know, we had to make changes last year. You know, we had to figure out how to utilize Marcus last year. You know, he was predominantly playing the wing, and we had to figure out how to utilize him. We made that change really kind of right before the Big Ten game. There'll be some of that this year. I think we've got a pretty good feel. I think we tried to be very specific, and one, we wanted size who could play a lot of different positions, and two, shooting. I think we're doing some stuff offensively that doesn't require, I think it's, for lack of a better term, it's easy. It's concepts more than actions and sets. So I think that part's a little easier. The defensive side of it now, I've said it every year I've been up here, that's the side we have to work the most on. And that's very evident now with this group. You know, the young guys foul too much. We're not tough enough. They've got to understand how important it is to win a possession. All those things are fitting together. We're still figuring out a little bit, you know, certain lineups, because we can be really big at times. What lineups look like and what they will work together, but that's all part of the fun for me. Yeah, I told our staff as we walked off the court after that game, I said we were a Final Four team who got beat by the national champions. I didn't think there would be any question who would win it. I thought they were the best team in the country. And I said, but if that's a national championship team, we had to improve. We had to get better. There was 2 top 10 picks there. I thought their talent level was extraordinary, their depth, and then they were extremely well coached. And there's a reason they won back to back. I think we've accomplished some of those things. We had to be more specific in what we were doing from a talent side of things offensively. I think we addressed some of those things, and you know, and yet you know, we had to be bigger. We had to protect the rim better. We had to do certain things better. We had some advantages at that spot, but yeah, we were good, but we knew we weren't going to be old like that every year.
How do you handle that?
We'll see. Everybody talks about depth and they're excited about it, and really once you start coaching them and you figure out who can perform and who doesn't, some of them kind of guys kind of eliminate themselves or they step up. I do like our offensive talent. I think we have a bunch of talented guys on that end of the court. But again, that's only one side of the court. We've got to figure out how to be great at the other end as well. So, but I do think we have a lot of versatility. We can do a lot of different things, and I do like their competitive makeup, which helps. This group's really, really competitive, and that's top to bottom. Well, the first thing is make them tougher. There's a lot of things that go into that. Dealing with adversity. There's a reason we're playing the schedule we're playing. We need to find out what our warts are before we jump into league play. We need to find out, who can handle physicality or who can handle quickness or all those things. I think that's all part of it. Toughening them up, creating the format that we do the little things that win. That's what winning is about. It's about getting a rebound. It's about getting a stop. It's how are we going to win games when the ball doesn't go in? You guys have heard me say that a bunch. For this group, scoring's always been easy, and they play high school guys. They're not playing against 21, 22-year-old pros that are well coached and taking away your best attributes. So we have to figure out how to do the things that win, and we work on those things every day, and we stress it. Just going through the process. It's a timely process, but we accomplish some things and then we wait some more.
Does it mean something that you turn over? It's not an all new team. You turn over largely a new team, as new as any team. And yet, you're seeing as one of the that seems like a reflection of your recent track record. Where's the program has a different a few years ago, if you turn over an all new roster,
Yeah. I think it's a tribute to a lot of the really good players we've had and that we have found some success, over the last 5 years. But again, I think it's a tribute to our staff recruiting. I think we've gotten, everybody puts stars by guys and tabs them as this or that. And I think that's a part of it as well. Again, I like where we're at. I always want to be picked towards the top. I always want to be in big games. We're trying to win a national championship. And if all those things fall into place to do that, great. The Elite Eight was a great run. It was great for the players to get to experience that, but that's not why I'm here. And we want to play 2 more games. And we're going to keep the gas on the pedal to the metal and the foot on the gas and whatever other cliche you want to use until we get there. So that's the push, and it's nice to be up there. Now we have to go prove it. This group has to understand there's pressure with that. There's expectations, but as I told them, we sprint to that. We sprint to that stuff.
Is there a higher ceiling, lower floor? Is that a way to look at this team because there's so much new? It might go great.
Higher ceiling.
More things that could go wrong.
Higher ceiling for sure. I've said that since middle of June. I think this team's ceiling is very high. What can go wrong? A lot. That's in any season. How we handle challenges. We're not going to run away from those. I'm going to put expectations and pressure on them. they need to become hardened. They need to understand what that's about. So I do like our ceiling. I think we can score the ball in a lot of ways. We just got to be tough enough to make winning plays, and that's where my job comes in. It has been. Now we'll see how that all plays out when actual minutes are handed out. And there's 200 minutes in a game, and if we can get guys to perform and play as hard as they can for as long as they can, and the next guy comes in and does that, then we're going to have a heck of a team. But again, it's a common theme every year. We all sit down here and we talk about depth or this guy's ratings or this, whatever. Winning is really, really hard. And the one thing that I'm going to try to do always is put the best players on the floor that allow us to win. And we'll see how that plays out. But this group has been selfless. This group has been committed to that, dedicated to each other and helping each other get better. And like I said, we've got a scrimmage here in a couple of weeks, and we'll see what that looks like after that. Yeah, he's a really good player. The thing with KJ is he doesn't need to score to be really, really effective. He's a very high IQ player. He's a great passer. He's going to take what the game gives him. If you look at his games with his national team, he had 37 in one because they needed him. He had another one. He had, I think, 11 or 13. It's all a matter of just he takes what the game gives him. I think his growth comes on the defensive side, understanding that the game's officiated differently here than in Europe, and then seeing the speed that he's going to see. But he's a very talented player. Well, we've got Orlando back, and Jeff's been killing it on the recruiting trail. Obviously we're able to. Tim was awesome. I mean, awesome. And the on the court stuff is we've got a staff of young guys and adding Quay to it. He's done workouts in the NBA. He was very instrumental in Io and Trent's development on the court as a GA. Tyler and Zach are both excellent teachers on the court. That part will be great. We'll be fine. And you don't make up for a Tim with just one guy. He was instrumental in what we did. But those other guys are good and have connections as well. And you just kind of, you kind of move the needle that way. Wish Tim absolutely nothing but great health and well-being, and he was fabulous for us. Yeah, now he's the wily veteran, and I think he's got a lot of help. I think that you two guys that nobody talks about, Keaton Cooch or AJ Red, those are guys that are walk-ons and AJ's been in the program as long as him. They establish our culture. Ty is extremely popular. He is very likable, not just by his teammates and the coaches, but by the people in the community, the fans. People see that, and Ty's voice is loud, but his actions are also loud, just as loud, and the way that he conducts himself. So, we look at experience. You've got Kylan, you've got Trey, Ben, all those guys maybe don't have experience with us, but they have experience, and so their leadership is factored into that as well. So, but Ty's a rock star as a human being and as a leader. He's taken that role on and said, "Jump on my back." Yeah, Merez has been incredible. Merez has been a guy that we haven't had. He's been that lob catcher that you can throw it up and he just goes and gets it, no matter how high you throw it. He's extremely athletic. He was 252 pounds. He doesn't have a body like a freshman, and we haven't had that kind of athlete. He's a sub 5 minute mile guy at that weight. He's a guy that can really run. And then he's just got that Chicago grit, toughness, dog, whatever you want to use. And he's been a dominant rebounder literally since the summer. For him, it's staying out of foul trouble. It's all the little things on the defensive side that he's got to do. He's got big responsibilities because he's guarding guys in ball screens a lot. But man, I'm excited about him.
Like a lot of these questions end up being about improving his jump shot. For you in the building, is that a high priority for him, or does he have a role that can affect the game in other ways?
I don't worry about it, whether Ty shoots it or doesn't shoot it. He works at it. That's something that I think everybody else wants to worry about. He's put a ton of time in it. He's a much better shooter than he was a year ago. He's going to shoot some of them. But it's also understanding your role that maybe there's some guys who do that a little better than he does it, and it's playing to your strengths and not something that's maybe not your strength. Is he going to shoot it? Absolutely. That's what he does, and he's a Swiss Army knife. He's a jack of all trades guy. He can play any position. He's been very, very effective in the open court as he was last year, but have him not with the ball as much maybe as he had a year ago, running the wings. So he's been shooting free throws great. So yeah, it's do what you do and play to your strengths. He's probably had as good a fall as anybody on our team. I've said this. I should have played him more last year. Dre is a guy that's elite defender on the ball, and he's a guy that can really score, and he doesn't need help to score. He can get a shot against anybody. He's a very good hard shot maker, but he's become a much better basketball player. He's not just a guy that scores shots and baskets like in a pickup game. He's a guy that understands how to play. He's a guy that can play with the ball some. But as a two-way player, he's been shining in our practices at both ends of the court. And it's really nice when you can just give him the ball and he's going to get a really good shot off. It's really, really good when you can match up Hunt with multiple guys who can handle the ball. And we've looked at Ben Humerkaus with the ball at the point. We've looked at, and Ben's a very good ball handler, Trey White, obviously Kyle and Ty, KJ. We've gone right on down the list with all those guys being able to, Draven, all those guys being able to do that. And when we were playing the way we're playing, we're still playing very fast. We want to do that. We want to be on the glass, but again, it's spacing the floor and matchup hunting, and we're not doing it just with booty ball. We're trying to create some matchups with ball screens because KJ's as good as there is in it, and Tomislav can just shoot the cover off of it. So it's a nice deal to have guys that can handle it and pass it and shoot it. And Will, I forget about Will. Will's a guy that just knows how to play. I don't know how to describe it. He loves the game. His passion for the game is almost unrivaled. I coached Michael Beasley, and his was very similar to that. And then there's a guy his ball just goes in all the time. And, he can play with it at 6'9". and get to his spots. I think he prefers probably to play off of it a little bit and come off handoffs and do this, but he doesn't need a screen to score. And yet one of the best things he does is pass. So he's a great competitor. And I, like I said, I'm excited about where his game can take us, because he's got a really high ceiling. And he's a savant. He loves the game. He wants to learn it, and he remembers everything. So I'm really excited about Will's, whatever position he's playing, he's going to be effective at it. Every player is different in that capacity. With him, he is just game on. Just let me play. And what we're doing offensively is not overly complicated, because it's conceptual, and it's just spacing guys and playing. If you probably more NBA like than college like, but so his versatility. I mean, he gets in the paint at 6'9". He's very effective. He's a hard matchup, and he's just got really good skills with the ball, especially against size. So.
Question here: if you had to throw the ball to someone on the last possession, he's going to make the shot for you, or he's at least going to make the right play.
God dang. I don't know if I know that. I that's something we actually practice, because I need to know who makes them. There's a lot of guys you can throw them to. There's not enough guys with a sack big enough to make them. Sorry. You gotta be tough enough to make it. I mean, Io DeSumo, can I throw the ball to him still? Because he was going to make him. Marcus, more often than not, was going to make him. So I don't know. I don't know that yet. But I mean, I'd feel good with KJ, Draven, Will. I mean, maybe Trey. He's been really good. If I got to Ben, I mean, he's probably our best shooter. I don't. It depends. I don't know. No. I don't put words in my mouth. But those guys can all. I got to find out who can make it. Yeah. We've spent a good amount of time teaching spacing and playing and understanding roles and cutting and so I feel like we're way ahead offensively of where we are defensively. Defensively right now, 7th grade middle school team might hang 100 on us. We stink, and we foul too much. And tonight at 5:30 when I get out of here, we'll have a really inspired practice on the defensive side, because that's what we're working on mostly, trying to get guys dialed in there. Oh. Yeah, a lot. We did that last year. And 2 years ago, when we were young and we had a lot of freshmen on that team, and we made some changes midstream. We became one of the better defensive teams in the in the league in a quick period of time. And it's just getting guys to buy into the right things, that you're not going to make mistakes. You're not going to foul. You're going to compete. You're going to give the extra effort and the second extra effort, and all those things that truly matter. And then we want to make people shoot. We haven't changed philosophy. We want to make people shoot twos, take away threes from the best shooters. And we're going to continue to stick by that philosophy. Analytics tell you it's a good thing, and we're going to keep living by it. We're behind last year defensively. And at one time, we were a really good defensive team. So again, it's just youth. And the one thing with young guys is they played because they score for the most part. They don't have the discipline to not foul. They don't have the discipline to do it 18 seconds into a shot clock. They don't have the discipline yet to, after somebody jumps up and they play great defense and hits a shot, to be tough enough to say, okay, I'm going to get you next time. And there's some, there's some toughness that comes with that. And that's what we're looking for. We got a group that takes charges. We got a group that blocks shots. We got a group that we literally spend more time on cleaning up the floor. This group dives on the floor for loose balls. We're getting there. I love that part of it. But just the mistakes and the mental capacity to not get frustrated or not get down and then let it affect your offense because and this team can be a great defensive team because we have length, we have size, and I think we can challenge and make shots hard, but we can't make the mistakes that we've made.
This has to be our last question. Sorry.
Go ahead.
How is his development and energy?
Oh, he's been tremendous. First of all, Jason's gained 20 plus pounds. I think he's been he's the king of eating waffles. Jason's been good. He's continuing to work on his jump shot. He's a terrific jump shooter. He's got great hands. Again, the biggest challenge for him is on the other end. But been really pleased. He's had a great summer and is going to be a really, really good player in the orange and blue.
Okay, I got to just cut him off. If you need something else, you can walk with us to his next room.
You get your ass kicked.
You said enough about my